Good morning and welcome to Simferopol International Airport, right here in the heart of the Crimean Peninsula. I'm Luke Jones and this is another edition of The Other Way. Now if you're here on holiday, then this is probably going to be your first port of call, this brand spanking new airport. When I first came here about 5 years ago, it was little more than a concrete shed. Now, testament to the revival of the region, just look at it. It won an award recently for the best airport in the region. So, join me, let's go and see Simferopol itself and nearby Bakhchysarai. After people leave Simferopol Airport, quite understandably, the first thing they want to do is get straight down to one of the Black Sea resorts. It's a shame, however, that so few make it into the centre of Simferopol itself. It's the second largest city on the Crimean Peninsula after Sevastopol, and there might not be a huge number of must-see sites here, but it's a pleasant enough town with a lovely pedestrianised street, some great bars and restaurants. We're going to have a little walk around. Now the Crimea has three official languages, Russian, Ukrainian and Tatar. Now the name Simferopol originally comes from the Greek Simferopoli, meaning city of common good. Although the Tatars call Simferopol Akmesjit, which actually means white mosque. So there you have it. I can't wait to try one of these wines. They look fantastic, but it's a little early in the day, so I think we'll start with a coffee as we're supposed to. Well, this looks like an interesting place to grab a coffee. It looks more like a bar, but let's see if we can get a nice cuppa. Okay, time for a coffee. They do serve coffees here, it turns out, and Lilia's going to serve me one. So one black coffee coming up. Можно мне черный кофе без молока, пожалуйста? Спасибо. You see some strange t-shirts in some very strange places, and I wasn't expecting to see Portsmouth Harbour, given that I went to university in Portsmouth. So there you go, slap bang in the middle of Simferopol. Budmo. One of the quirkier facts about Simferopol is it has the world's longest trolley bus ride from here all the way down to Yalta on the Black Sea. It takes more than 2 hours to do it, and I haven't tried it myself. A little bit faster in a bus or a taxi, but if you want to tick the box, then jump aboard. Simferopol, and we've made it here to nearby Bakhchysarai. It's just under an hour's drive away to the south. Now Bakhchysarai is the real jewel of the Crimea. It means garden palace in the local Tatar language, and this has been here for almost 500 years. Now you can see some minarets behind me, and you might be wondering what on earth are they doing here, slap bang in the middle of the Crimea, in this Slav-dominated part of the world. Well, don't forget, 500 years ago when this was built, it was under the Ottoman Empire. The Crimean Tatars are the original people in the peninsula. They've been here for centuries, and not surprisingly, they've kept their religion to this day and their language. Now, this is a classic example, the only example, in fact, of Crimean Tatar palace architecture. Let's go in and have a look around and hope the rain doesn't destroy the day. Well, unfortunately, a lot of the buildings are being renovated at the moment, hopefully restored to their former glory, so you'll have to take my word for it as to how beautiful it really is here. The work continues behind me, although you can get a great idea from these pictures as to what life was really like here several hundred years ago. Now, although the Han's Palace that you can see behind me was built almost 500 years ago, it was destroyed during the Turkish-Russo War of 1736. But luckily, most of it's been restored, so it looks pretty much how you'd see it now. And even the Russian Tsars used to come here and visit. Now, the famous poet Alexander Pushkin came here in 1820, and he was so mesmerized by the place that a few years later he even wrote a poem called the Bakhchysarai Fountain. Now, I'm not sure whether he was referring to this particular one, but could have been. Well, after a hard morning sightseeing, it's time for some lunch. So hopefully we'll get a good view and a good feed from this cafe. Right, lunchtime. Dinara's going to serve us up a feast. Это мой лагман, да? О, прекрасно. Спасибо. Wow, check this out. Okay, here we go. Bon appétit, приятного аппетита, everyone. Well, we finished in Bakhchysarai, had a lovely lunch down there, and we thought we'd finish off the programme by showing you the Çufut caves, which are about 5-6 kilometres out of town. But we've got about 2/3 of the way there, and we're going to have to concede defeat, unfortunately. Just take a look at this road, okay, it's non-existent, and unfortunately we really need a jeep to get there, which we don't have. German engineering has failed us on this occasion, so at least that gives us an excuse to come back another time. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed what's been about 3/4 of what should have been a full episode of Luke Jones the Other Way. It's always lively, and don't forget to share, like and subscribe as always.